going to show you through this video on how to factor the trinomial of ax squared plus bx plus c. And just a little review here. Remember, a, b, and c are numbers. So in the first example I'm going to do, the a would be 2, the b would be a negative 7, and the c would be a negative 4. So 2x squared minus 7x minus 4. Now there's a couple different ways to do this. The way I always use is just break it up into a FOIL problem and use the guess and check method. So I always start with the first from the FOIL procedure, and then this is the result of the first, this is the result of the last. I start with the first, move to the last, and then I take into account the outers and inners at the end. So first, this one's not too bad because I know it's got to be 2x and x. That's really the only combination that can give me 2x squared. 4 is a little trickier. It could be 2 times 2, or it could be 4 times 1. My normal strategy is to always start with the 2 and 2. But if you're a pretty good predictor here, you're going to know that 2 and 2 will not work. But since I don't really know that at the present time, I'm going to try it. So 2 times 2, so that gives me 4, and 2x times x, that gives me 2x squared. Now, will my outers and inners produce negative 7x? Well, my outers in this case is 2x and 2, which is 4x, and my inners is 2x. So just kind of thinking about that, can these be combined in any way with any negatives at all and get a 7x? And the answer to that is no. So that's not the way to go. So if you do have an eraser, or if you want to cross out, feel free, but it's not going to be the 2. So what are my other thoughts here? Well, if it's not the 2, then it could be the 4 and 1. Now I could switch the 2 and 2, but because they're the same number, it's not going to make any difference. In the last video, without the number 2 here, it doesn't make any difference at all when you switch it. But now that you have a 2x and an x, it might make a difference. But this is the exception where it doesn't, because these are the same number. So I'm going to start with 4 and 1, and let's see if that works. So the outside is 2x. The inside is 4x. Well, you know, I'm in the same boat here. 4x and 2x will never, ever give me 7x. So do I quit there? No, don't quit. Try one more. So now I'm going to try, instead of 4 and 1, I'm going to try 1 and 4. 1 and 4. And this is the guess and check method. You just keep going after it until you get it. 2x times 4 is 8x. And the inside is 1x. Can these be combined in any way to give me a result of negative 7? I think they can. If it's a negative 7, the 8 has to be negative. Which one's the 8? This is not the 8, the inners. The outers is the 8, so that has to be the negative, and that has to be the positive. Checking everything, 2x squared, ding. This is negative 8x plus 1x is negative 7x, ding, and negative 4. So I've figured it out. This is my final answer, the factored form of the original trinomial. All right, well, let's move on to a second example. Here's a 6x squared minus 1x minus 12. Remember, there's a 1 in the middle. Always start with the first. Now, this is even trickier than the last problem because 6x could be multiple combinations. It could be 2x and 3x, or it could be 6x and 1x. So I'm just going to kind of put those off to the side here, 2 times 3 or 1 times 6. Always start with the ones closer together because they're usually the answer. And 12 is really tricky. It's 3 times 4, 2 times 6, or 1 times 12. And if you want to eliminate your guess and check work, start with the 3 and 4 first. So here I go. So basically I got to try 3 and 4. If that doesn't work, try 4 and 3. If that doesn't work, try 2 and 6. If that doesn't work, try 6 and 2. If that doesn't work, try 1 and 12. If that doesn't work, times 12, try 12 and 1. So right there I've got to try 2, 4, 6 things. And if that all doesn't work, then I got to move to the 1 and 6 and try the other 6 things. Well, it's frustrating at times, but it is really only 12 possibilities, so you just got to crank it out. So all I'm really checking here are my outers and inners to make sure I get negative 1, which is my middle term. So the outers is 8x, the inners is 9x. Hey, 8x and 9x, if this is a negative 9, I get negative 1, which is what I wanted. By using the pick close to strategy, I actually got it on the first try. So pat myself on the back, make sure I get the right signs here. The 9 is negative, the 9 is negative. These two are the 9, so that's the negative one. And then the 4 times 2 has got to be positive, so that's the plus 1. Lo and behold, I did it first time through. This is my answer. Now, some of you from Algebra 1 may be used to the star method, and I'm just going to cover that briefly. I'm rarely going to go over the star method, but it's always usable when you're trying to factor this form. The reason why I don't like the star method is because I kind of forget which goes where and stuff like that. As long as I know how FOIL works, I'm able to kind of factor through the undoing of FOIL method. So the way the star works is this number here is the first number times the last number, and that I believe is negative 72. The middle number, which is negative 1, goes here, and then the leading coefficient, which is 6, goes here. Now you have to play a game like the diamond method from before with negative 72 and negative 1 and figure out what times what 72 that adds to negative 1. Well, that's not too bad. You could do 9 and 8 is 72, and you could add them if this is negative and get negative 1. Okay, so that's how you fill in your star. Then you take this fraction here, 6/9, and reduce it. Divide by 3, you get 2. Divide by 3, you get 3 with a negative. This one, 6/8 reduce. As long as you're good at reducing fractions, this doesn't take that long. Divide by 2, you get 3. Divide by 2, you get 4, 3/4. Should probably put that in a different color. Let me change the green here. So now this fraction here, notice, is the 3 and 4. This fraction here is the 2 and negative 3. Maybe you're very used to this method and you really enjoyed it and you thought, okay, it really wasn't that bad. By all means, you can always use it. I will never go through it on the board or do it this way unless a student specifically asks for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to use guess and check. Now we're going to move to our last problem. Now this one's really looks intimidating because of the larger numbers. Of course I could use the star method and then I have to do 5 times negative 24, but you know what? I'm just going to do the guess and check. So what times what gives me my first? This one's not bad. Now it's not 2 and 3 because 2 times 3 is 6. So it's got to be like a 5x and a 1x. That's really my only possibility. So that's actually pretty nice because it's locked in. But 24 is one of those really hard ones because 24 could be 4 times 6. It could be 3 times 8. It could be 2 times 12. And it could be 1 times 24. I think I covered them all. Yeah. I'll start with the one closest together, 4 and 6. Okay, really quickly, 4 and 6. Outers is 30, inners is 4. 30 and 4, these are both x's. Can that become negative 37? Where am I getting the negative 37 from? It's this middle term. Nope, no way. So what do? Quit? No, let's cross this off. Cross this off. I tried 4 and 6. How about 6 and 4? That would be 20 and 6. 20 and 6. Sometimes I'm going to get so good at this, I'm not even going to really need to write it. I can just know it in my head. 37? No way. Okay, get out my eraser, or I could keep crossing out. It's up to you. So 6 and 4 does not work. Move down the line. The next most likely one is 3 and 8. Let's try 3 and 8. The outers, 8 times 5 is 40. The inners, 3 times x is 3. Can these be added or subtracted to give me 37? Hey, I think I did it. If I put a negative in front of 40, negative 40 plus 3 is negative 37. Okay, let's just kind of verify that. The 40 is negative, the 40 is negative. This outer bar is the 40, that's the negative bar. And then this inner bar here is the positive bar. I think I did it. Let's double check. FOIL, 5x squared. Ding. Outers negative 40, inners 3, negative 37. Ding. Last, negative 24. Ding. I did it. The reason why students usually don't like factoring and undoing FOIL is because it just sure takes so long, and there's no real, right or wrong way to do it. It's just kind of plug and chug, guess and re-guess and check and recheck, and you just got to persevere through it because it gets kind of difficult. I hope this was helpful for you. This is the factoring of the ax squared plus bx plus c, which means that there's a number in front. How do you factor that?